Welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. We are in the glorious days of summer now, and I've realised how much of a mess my farm actually is right now. My goodness, it is an absolute state. Look at it. It's just a little bit of a bomb site. But then again, that is kind of due to the fact that I have, the seasons change. It's kind of a given, isn't it? Now, as part of this, I've only got 42,000, so I'm going to have to try and plant out a bunch of crops ready for the season. And one of the things I would like to do is have a few of the repeated harvest crops. So anything on the vines and such, so I can, pop them in near Junimo huts so they can just get them done and just repeatedly harvest and do stuff. I think that's quite a sensible thing for me to do. One of the other things I'm going to need to do, of course, though, is try to make more of the particularly good fertilizer. And that's going to require even more sap. And I hate the fact that I need that much sap. I've got to figure out a good way of, not really manipulating stuff, but getting stuff done so I can actually have the sap and then don't have to worry about it. But that's the issue is I've got to figure out getting a decent amount of sap out and, just getting stuff done. As daft as that might sound, I just need it. I think that's really all it boils down to. I need sap and I need lots of it. But what I'm also going to do is look at planting larger areas of crops in general. And I'm debating what to actually slap down to harvest. Because there's lots of choice and opportunity. It's just figuring out what works and what might be the best plan. But one of the things I do definitely want is a lot of starfruit. I want to grow lots of it. And I'm debating whether an area of speedy grow, because then I can turn it into wine easier. Because that's kind of a major component advantage for me, is if I just get wine. So, I'm going to have to think about that one. But that's the thing is, I think about having a higher speed growing of resources is probably going to be a more sensible plan of action at the moment. How sensible it is it's kind of a different question, really. I'd like to have that. I really would. I would very much like to have a decent quantity of starfruit. Some of it I need to ship out, and some of which I can turn into wine. Because the trouble is, if I set this area that I'm currently planting now to be my quality crops, because I'm going to have to ship out a bunch anyway, that's kind of a given. But if I have a selection of some that are going to be really just speed grown so that I can get a better resource quantity, because that's a big thing, is I need the quantity of resources, and I don't think that's a terrible thing to think about, really, but it is something I need to look at. But for now, I think having a few of the planters up here isn't a terrible shout. And I think what I would like to do is set up another Junimo hut, because having a third one near the animal coops and barns is probably not a bad place to put one. And that would give me quite a bit of an advantage, I think. But we'll have to see. It's one of those, I have an idea. How effective it is going to be a very different question. That's at least one of the game plans. Other things that I need to do at the moment is I'm going to need to go to Ginger Island regularly, because I do want to see if I can finally obtain the ever important and illustrious snake vertebrae that I desperately need. It's ridiculous how much I need it. But I still haven't got it. And it makes me sad. To be very blunt about it, it makes me very sad that I don't have it. And there's not much more else I can say regarding it. I'd like it, and the sooner I get it, the better. But for now, I'm going to sort of replant this area. I'm sort of just hoeing all the land ready. I think a fair bit of it is going to require that I go to see Pierre sooner rather than later. But of course, I can purchase any crop from him now, which should be quite a nice advantage. Because then I can purchase ones that may not be quite as much of as a big thing. Excuse me. Such as purchasing some resources that might not be super useful. Right now, at least. And I don't think that's a terrible plan, to be fair. Being able to have all of that sorted is, well, kind of helpful. It's probably the best way to look at it. Because if I can sort that out, then it's mostly looking forward towards the what can I plant in the what's it called? The shed. I mean, I'm having so many brain farts today. It's actually hilarious how bad I am at the English language. It's shocking. But yeah, I've got lots of ideas of like things that I need and want, which, you know, isn't a terrible thing to sort of like think about. But what do I want to do with it? And I think that's a kind of a reasonable question, really. What else do I want to plant? Where do I want to plant it? As well, it's all about the money spinning, and I know that starfruit is one of, if not the most valuable basic crop that you can harvest. I mean, melons are good and all, but it's no starfruit. Which, unfortunately, is kind of the way it is. Starfruit's where it's at. And I'm going to just keep harvesting starfruit. So, I think that's going to be a major component part of my general harvesting at the moment, is just lots and lots and lots of starfruit. But we'll see how well that goes. Right, I'm going to quickly fling that hay into the silo, which is kind of a handy thing, because I've got so much hay, which, again, not a bad thing. Believe me, I am not upset about the quantity of hay that I have. It makes life a lot easier, because going forward, I'm going to need more. Now, of course, I'm going to make a bunch of iridium bars, again, to help turn that into fertilizer. As, again, fertilizer is a very key and important constituent part of my game plan. I think that's the easiest way of putting it, really, is I need it to allow me to really produce as much as possible. Now, what I've got currently growing in the shed is a good selection of resources. Like, I've got a lot of the autumn seeds, the wild seeds growing in there, and those are going to be most useful at the moment because I need the plums. And once I've grown enough of the wild plums, well, then I'm in a better position, really, because the wild plums will allow me to make that plum pudding, which is, again, something I really want to make. And I don't think that's going to take too much time. I don't feel. And once I've got those, then it's replacing those ones with a different crop. What that crop will be, I don't know. But I would like to have a lot of tea plants, because as I mentioned in one of my comments earlier about like why do I not have a bunch of tea, I feel that it's kind of a hilarious, yes, it's so painfully British, I should do it, and it needs to happen, and I'm genuinely shocked at myself that I haven't got that kind of suggestion sorted, which feels very, very ridiculous that I haven't done that. But again, I will live on that one. But that's a major component idea for myself. Again, how good that's going to be, I don't know. But hey, that's my game plan. It's what I'd like to do. But that's that's how this is going to roll out. Now, let's see. Is there anything else I could purchase that would be good for me to grow? Well, corn is good. Again, I'm looking at crops that are going to continually harvest. Because, again, it's not a bad thing to have, and it'll be kind of helpful, more than anything, for me to have them based on what can I produce and how quickly can I produce it. And being able to cycle through quite a few resources is not a bad thing, and the continual harvest products are generally something that I like to focus on, like the hot peppers and stuff. Again, they make good gifts. I think that's kind of a big thing for me as well. It's the stuff that makes good presents for people. There's quite a few, honestly, out there that would kind of work well. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at the moment. But for now, I'm going to quickly cut down a bunch of these trees because they need cutting down. Now, I know that I don't have the resource space to have them in my inventory because I'm dum-dum and I haven't got enough space. But I will live, and I will just have to figure it out, to be honest. I'm just going to have to figure that out. What other things can I sort out? That's it. This is the problem, is I've got lots of ideas, but whether they're good ideas is a very, very different question. And I will never deny that I'm a raging dum-dum, so c'est la vie. That's kind of be how it's going to go. Because at the end of the day, I know I'm an idiot, and I don't care. So, meh. I don't really know what else to say on that one, really. I know I'm a moron, so meh. But yeah, the planting down these crops here. Now, I know that it's a bit more of a faff to try to get to them, but I know that Junimos can pretty much walk through their own, like, they can walk through the things that would block your line of sight, that you're not your line of sight, sorry, your pathing. But I'd also like to grow a lot of flowers. Now, flowers are something that I haven't really shipped out a lot of, and I know they're not as valuable, but they are pretty. And I also know that I need the flowers to make some of the, what are they called? The flower basket type things. There's a few craftables that I need flowers for, and that's going to be something that I need to kind of focus on a little bit. Because again, if I can focus on that, that way at least I can make sure that I have them. Which, again, might sound very silly, but it is a kind of a big thing for me. I've got to make sure that I get it done. And, well, organised. It's going to be working my way through what can I make, what haven't I made, and how can I do it. I think that's going to be a big constituent part of this entire game plan progress nonsense right now. And that not annoys me, but it is going to be something that I'm going to have to kind of focus on, is how am I going to make everything that is craftable? Because that's a major thing that I haven't done. And there are something that I know that I've made. Like, I made a bunch of the flooring deliberately. I've been careful about making all of that. And I know that I've made the signs because, of course, I've got them. They're literally there. So, yes, we know they're there. But it is making sure that I actually have them. So, I'm going to have to kind of focus in on that. Now, it's coming up to later at night already. So, let's see what we can do. Let's quickly plant some things around here. Now, I know that I haven't slapped down like the best fertilizers and such, but any fertilizer right now is kind of good. I just want to get stuff growing, start making money, just go from there. There's just no ifs, and buts. Just let this done. Make it sensible. Do things. Ugh. Now, should I hoe this area as well? Yeah, I might as well, to be fair. Probably wouldn't hurt for me to do that either. Yeah, how am I going to do this? Yeah, let's hoe down here as well. I think it's going to be a fair old bit of not really trial and error, but it's just going to be seeing what works for me, and kind of going from there. I guess there's not really much else I can sort of suggest on that one, but that's kind of what I'm looking at, really. Well, so yeah, that's what I've got to look at the moment. I've got to figure out how am I going to create the greatest amount of value for myself. And I think this way seems to be working out quite well. I've got a lot of plants already sown in, which is good. And yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to water a couple of these every day, because I think I might not be able to reach them all with the watering, like with the sprinkler systems, but it's not the end of the world. I'll live. It's not gonna make me too upset if I can't quite make it. Oh well, whatever will I do? Well, not sit there and cry, because I don't really care that much. Right. Let's go and cut down those trees. Let's try and hope for some sap. That's a major component part of what I'm after. I want sap. So we'll cut this one down, and then we'll ride on our horsey, and we'll harvest all the stuff that we chopped down earlier. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Look at all that wood. So there's going to be plenty more. Now, I've actually got a lot more wood than I thought I did, to be fair. I genuinely thought I only had maybe 100 or so. Well, maybe not 100. Not as much as I genuinely expected. So I'm not as concerned about my stocks of wood, which again isn't a bad thing, to be fair. I'd like more, but it's mostly to help me moving forward with the production of things. And to be fair, with the large quantity of wood that I do have, I could probably turn that into work that with the charcoal burners, and then make something, good. And that's probably not the worst idea, thinking about it, honestly. But again, I've got to figure that out. That's kind of going to be the big question for myself, is how am I going to work this, and what am I going to make, and how's it all going to work out for me? Yeah. But that's just how this is going to kind of roll for me. Okay, so it's 12:40 a.m. I should really go to bed. Let's grab this green tea and plonk myself in bed with my glorious wife, Hayley. So, we made, wow, so very little. But that's kind of a given, considering where we're at. I mean, it's understandable. I'm not going to make a huge amount of money on the first day of a season, am I? Okay, so there's the baby. It does baby things. You can tell I'm very much understanding of children. I make no claims about understanding kids, because I know full well I don't. I genuinely have no idea. They are not quite a fully unknown to me, but they are very much of a puzzlement, is probably a way of putting it. They confuse me no end, I think is probably the best way of describing it. But that's just kids. They do strange things. I don't understand them. I mean, I get on all right with my cousin's kids who are, 11, 12? So, early teens. I think when a kid hits about, 9 or 10, when they can hold a proper conversation with you, that's when they become interesting. Because their desires and dreams start really exhibiting themselves. But that's my experience from working with... I've worked with a lot of teenagers in one of my jobs. So I work with kids, and I found the teenagers really easy to work with, because I was able to ask them the sort of what inspires you? What sort of thing makes you excited? What do you like about this? And, asking those probing questions, they get someone to go, you know what? What do I like about this? Why am I doing this? What is exciting? And, that's a thing for me, is being able to find out what's cool for someone and why do they like this idea. Because the source of inspiration for everybody is different. It's kind of a given, isn't it? It's just, everyone's got their own different ideas and why they do stuff. It's the same reason for me doing this, to be fair. I do this because I like Stardew Valley and I like talking nonsense. And I also enjoy the fact that some people do enjoy my voice and they enjoy hearing me talk. And, you know, it's as shameless as that is, it's something that I enjoy. And I don't think I'm ever going to really apologise for it because I think it's just something that's the way it is. And I like it. I like that people like it. You know, that's my logic. How well that's going to work, I don't know. Now, I'm probably going to head to Ginger Island today because I was planning on doing so yesterday, but I got very distracted doing all of this palaver here, which I think is quite understandable, honestly. So we're going to sort of figure out what are we going to do and how are we going to do it. So, hum is indeed the question that we have here. Right, so let's sort out some of this animal stuff, because we've got loads of milk and loads of cheese, and I really should sort that out, because, well, it's a resource I should be using, and yeah, it'd be a good idea to sort out, wouldn't it? There is genuinely method to the madness, I promise. Not very good method to the madness, but there is some. Honest. And I think that's something that's always going to be the case, isn't it? Like, there is allegedly some idea as to why I'm doing things. Well, if it's a good one, goodness, that's a very different question. But meh. But anyway, let's have a look-see then. So I'm going to grab all this mayonnaise. We've got quite a lot of it lying around, which, again, not a bad thing, because mayonnaise is a good resource. It allows me to get a good amount of money. It's not like the most valuable, but again, it's extra cash. And it's higher value than the eggs. I believe. I could very well be very wrong, as I have been on a number of occasions. But it's a thing. And I'll live with it. So let's have a quick look in the sheds, because we've got lots of shed space that I should probably start looking at for possible vending. Because surely the some of the resources must be ready now. And when I say like they must be ready, they really must be like pretty much ready to go. Okay, so we've got all this to harvest. So that's enough for the wild plums. So now I've got all the plums that I needed. I feel like I'm in a much better position. Really. And yeah, that's kind of a good thing. Let's see, what else can we do with this? Just got to try and figure it out, really, haven't I? It's going to be a bit of a weird one. Let's water all these here. Lovely. And then what next? I'll water all these, and then what am I going to plant here? Well, it's probably going to be more starfruit, to be fair. Even though I know that it's already able to be grown as a thing, and it's fine. I can plant it actually outdoors. But again, it's the value of it, and I can turn it into just quick wine resources. And that's, you know, a big thing for me here, is actually turning it into a fantastically useful resource. And I don't think that's a bad thing, is it? Because, again, I want money. Chadoy. So we've got all this ancient fruit wine. That's lovely. So we're going to slap some... Oh, I don't really have much in the way of gubbins to put in there, do I? I really need to sort out both the ancient fruit and starfruit growth. So that's going to be interesting. Again, I'm thinking about the speed grow, because I think it'll probably be the most beneficial thing for me to put down. when it comes to the starfruit, if I'm just going to throw it straight into, oh my goodness, look at all those preserves, that's amazing. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the most beneficial thing for me going forward. Because, yeah, I can use that to my great advantage to just churn through the resources and just make stuff quickly. And, again, that's not a bad thing, is it? Just being able to create the resources swiftly and make sure we've got money coming in and blah, blah, blah. But look at all of these different crops and available stuff. So I'm going to essentially be turning all the parsnips that we had, that we harvested at the end of the year, at the end of the spring season, to turn them into pickled parsnips. Which I'm just going to, it's a little bit of reorganizing, rejigging. It's not like anything super major weird, but, you know, it's what we've got to do. We've got to make sure everything's done. And prepared well, because that's a big thing. Goodness, so many different resources. Well, let's see what else we can kind of figure out on this one, because we do want to make sure we've got a decent amount of stuff coming in, don't we? I'm curious. I know that I'm going to get a lot of pickled parsnips out of this one, and I know parsnips aren't the most valuable crop, and they're pickled parsnips, again, not the most valuable crop, but they're still vaguely more valuable than, well, nothing. I'm so articulate right now. It's genuinely phenomenal. How I don't fall down more, I don't know. But hey, that's a thing. So let's see what we can do here. Well, let's fling all that in the sales bin because we don't need it right now, and I think that's quite reasonable, really. Just get rid of stuff because I don't need it. Okay. So we got all of that, even more pickled wheat. Again, I forgot I had so much wheat that I was throwing it into pickle. That was a thing. What else have we got that we can actually sort of organise? Okay, so I'm going to quickly clear out this row of pickling jars, and I'm going to place the other row that I've got that's in there. So I know it's not adding much, but it's adding another 7 jars to allow me to make more. Which, again, isn't a bad thing. I don't feel. Because, yeah, the more of that I got, the better. And the more we can make, fantabby-doozy. But let's just try and make as much money this week as possible. So I would like to purchase more towards the upgrade to Pam's house. I think that's the major next compulsory purchase for myself. After that, I don't know, because I forget if you can buy multiple of the Statue of Endless Fortune, because I swear I've seen people with multiple of them. And the thing is, though, I could be very wrong, because I know I'm a moron. So let's find out how dumb I am, shall we? Yeah, it's the nicest way I can honestly put it, is I'm a dumbass and I know it. But oh well. It's just how this is going to go, isn't it? I do need to figure that out. What can I do? Where can I put stuff? And how am I going to do it? So yeah, if I can have multiple of the Statue of Endless Fortune, that'd be kind of handy. I don't know how effective that would be, but it's a thing, right? Now, I'm also sort of debating, is there anything else that might be useful? So if anyone's got any ideas, please do give me some ideas of what might be good to throw down and start working with. Because, yeah, there's lots of resources I could start working with a bit more. I think I accidentally, there we are, bums. I accidentally slipped a salmon berry in there. So a salmon berry wine after 7 days. Ugh. So that's going to be worth next to nothing. That's going straight in the vending bin. But again, it's using the keg for the time being because, again, it's not being used right now. Which isn't a worst thing in the world, but it's not being used. And that's kind of my logic, really. If it's not being used, that's kind of a shame. Because I'd like to actively be using things. I think that's quite reasonable, right? Maybe? It feels what would be reasonable to me, at least. So, we'll see. But yeah, it's kind of be a bit of a thought on that one, like genuine thought process. What is going to be the best plan of action going forward right now? But for now, we're going to quickly summon up the horse, even though I could have gone and grabbed it and ridden out. Gonna head on through to town just to double check if there are any quests or like tasks that I can do for this week. I think that's quite reasonable. Well, I believe that's quite a reasonable thought process and request on that one. Well, we'll see. What next, though? Well, we're going to have a think of this one, aren't we? Okay, so let's do the 100 radishes. I think I've got some radishes that I can harvest. Not harvest, sorry. I think I can plant. I think I've got some seeds. I think they're one of the ones that you get from what's her face, Sandy. So I think I'm going to have to think about that one a bit more. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. That's going to be a thought process on that one, I think. So we'll work on that. It's an idea, at least. But right, whilst we're here on Ginger Island, let us summon the horsey and let us go riding, because riding is where it's at, yo. It does indeed make life a little bit easier. So, let's... I don't think I see any... No, I really don't. Damn. That's quite frustrating. Ugh. Fine. Okay, so there's no artifacts box there. That's frustrating, isn't it? What next? Huh. Oh well. Let's see what we can do. Let's just quickly cut all this down just for the sake of it. I mean, again, it's getting a little bit of hay and a little bit of fibre. Okay, not like the most important thing in the world. I guess it's just a bit of a bummer. Really, isn't it? Like, there's not much else I can do here. Well, let's see. Ah, there's an artifact spot. I got it. I've got it. I've got the snake vertebrae. Oh my goodness, I can make the ostrich doodad. Oh my, yes. Oh man, I'm so excited. Like, genuinely, I am so excited right now because my god, I need this. Like, I didn't know if Sander was. I need this. That is, that's the technical terminology for this exact statement of being that I am currently in. I can get it. I've finished it. I've done it. I just got to be sensible and not do something dumb, like accidentally eat the damn thing or throw it away. Donate it to the museum. Donate it. Yes, the snake vertebrae. Now that means I can actually sort out the farm on Ginger Island. I could churn out 100 radishes there. No issues. That'd be so quick how quickly I could do that. Oh man, I could totally just go bam, 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 and just throw that out and just get stuff done. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Yes. Oh man, it's so good. It's things that are getting done and it's, it feels so good. I know the level of excitement I've currently got is probably beyond any sensible Ken at this point. But it makes me super happy. I'm just genuinely so stoked that I've finally got the damn thing. I'm so chuffed. I'm so chuffed. Right, well, I'm going to quickly go in to the volcano, because what I do need is to try and get a few more cinder shards. Because, yeah, that's something that I really need right now. The cinder shards, they'll help me make exactly what I need, which is this ostrich egg incubator. And I genuinely don't know how long an ostrich egg is going to take it. I've never had an ostrich, so I am so excited because it's something new, like super new for me. And that, you know, I think that's quite reasonable for me that excited about this. I feel like a kid in a candy shop, and I'm genuinely trying to explain why. I'm contextualizing why should I feel excited. Gosh, I'm such a moron. I really am. Again, I question, how do I not fall down more? But it's happened. I've got it, and I'm so stoked. It's yes. I'm well chuffed. Right. Well, let's churn my way through here and just make stuff. Yeah. That's good. Okay. What next along here then? Well, come on, give me some star shard stuff, please. It's kind of the big thing right now. I need that. Come on. Please. There's rhyme to the reason, maybe? Method to the madness, you know. Other such things. I have a reason for wanting stuff, so let's have it. Can you give me some cinder shards, please? Because that would be nice. That'd be lovely. Never going to be upset about more cinder shards. Come on. Ah, well. Right. Okay, so it's getting late. So it's midnight now, so I really should probably head on home. That's frustrating. Well, I'm going to have to come back here anyway, because I need more of them. No ifs, ands, or buts. I need cinder shards. That's just how this is going to go. I need them. I just don't care otherwise. Okay, so I'm going to murderize everything here. Flatten this robot jobby. And what do I not need? That's the question. What do I not need? Which is it's quite a odd open question of like, because I kind of need everything. Yeah. Huh, that's annoying. Well, all the same, I have stuff that I need. So we're going to just get this and sort it out. Okay, so I mean, we're pushing it. We are genuinely pushing my time right now because it's 12:50. It's 1 a.m. now. But again, it's because I've got the rod. I can just do this. I can just boop, and I'm home, and there's no issues. So I'm just going to quickly bung a bunch of stuff away, and keep it sorted, and reorganize the inventory. So for now, though, I think what I'm going to pretty much get myself ready to do is to say, well, thank you very much for tuning in, because it's always nice when I see something go right for me in that regard. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching me finally achieve some glorious things. Genuinely, I'm so excited. I cannot contain my excitement. It's ridiculous. But yes, please, if you did enjoy, please do like, share, and subscribe, and tell others about my madness, because it's always nice to see new faces. I say new faces, that's an oddity. But yeah, so hopefully I'll catch you again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.